Harry apparently is going on with these late night calls back to Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace, but to no avail. Plus, on top of all of that, his recent foray into the world of China hasn't exactly gone the way that he planned. As ever, let me explain. Morning chums, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me in a very windy corner here in Kensington. Yes, I've had to move out the way. It's got a little bit too windy, This is supposed to be like, what are we in now? Yeah, coming up to June, aren't we? Yeah, where's summer coming? Have we had a wave? Do tell me off. I know I keep saying this, but we'll have another wave. Nice to see you. Welcome and all brand new subscribers as well to the channel. Nice to have your company. It's a funny thing, isn't it, with Prince Harry? As we know, last week he decided that he was going to get a new team to help himself promote. The idea really was to put Harry in a different sort of thing, like a person giving speeches, a bigger space, taking more seriously, moving away from the sort of catastrophe really of Meghan Markle and the cooking show. I told you that was part and parcel of the reason why they wanted him in the show, but he didn't want to be in it. He really wants to go back to his old royal life. He's so bored of what he's doing, despite what she said. And as I pointed out in the other video where she said he's enjoying being part of the entertainment industry, he hates it. He's bored rigid. It's not a world that he knows. And what's interesting, according to a very well-placed source, Harry, which he also pointed out, let's not forget, on that BBC TV interview, he sat down and said his father wouldn't take the calls. Now, you'd have to have a heart of steel to not feel a sad sort of tinge of sadness for him. All brought on by himself, but nonetheless still very upsetting because they were a close family and someone got in the middle of it and ruined it, whichever way you look at it, right? Now, here's where it gets even more interesting because he's kept on ringing to try and find out. And this puts, as I say, the staff in a very precarious position because first and foremost, they wouldn't say anything. They don't know anything. That's literally behind closed doors. What is fascinating is that Harry, I would say, is very concerned in many respects about his father, while Meghan seemingly can just glibly kick off her own father and he has to move another side of the world. She doesn't care, there's no contact at all, won't have him spoken about in the house. As far as she's concerned, that chapter is closed. Harry wants something differently and very much wants to connect with his father. I think, some people might say cynically, to see exactly where he is in the future. Who knows? But now, when he went over to China, it was fascinating because the team there, and particularly the team that were covering it, that I know well, apparently Harry is very, very despondent behind the scenes of his life, He went there and actually the China speech didn't go down particularly well. People were bored, they've heard it all before. You don't want to hear from rich people telling you about the sort of dramas of, climate and how we all need to save the world while you're flying in private jets. Unless Harry produces that commercial airline ticket, and as I pointed out, there's a bigger picture behind that. You see, you have to turn up to do these things because they're paying top dollar. You can't send a Zoom thing and say, that's fine, that will do, right? So consequently, he had to fly all that way over there. But now he's upset because the speech has been overridden by the anti-climate stuff. And his team, yes, these new people around him, are having to feverishly work out exactly how they can get the media to talk about Harry's good work rather than the fact that he flew halfway around the world while telling us not to fly. You get the picture. As I've told you time and time again, this is where it's problematic. Harry and Meghan are an utter disaster together. They have no idea how to run everything. There's years upon years of expertise inside royal protocol with royal courtiers, advisors, etc. Harry and Meghan are just taking on these unknown people who have never worked in this sort of sphere like this before. And if Harry felt that they were going to turn around and make him listenable, knowledgeable, and to be taken seriously, then he has another huge problem on his hands. But more importantly, behind the scenes, a source said he's very despondent all the time and really is watching all the reports, all the Canadian stuff, and any grim sort of thing about whether his father, how's he doing, the health, etc. He's put himself in a very, very difficult position, but clearly still doesn't want to go head to head with his wife, who some might suggest literally started it all. Either way, Harry, if he thought he'd crossed that bridge and was now moving into a different direction in his life, despite all of that new team around him, the only thing people want to know is why did you do it so badly? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.